Good evening, konnichiwa, and welcome to the McMuscles Midnight Massacre. And today we have an old classic, old J-horror classic with...
Am I saying it right? Ringu?
Ringu.
Is that how you say it?
That is. Now, this movie is like from 1998 in the original Japanese version. Of course, they made the big American remake in 2002.
Yeah.
With the Naomi Watts. And it hit it big. It became a meme, almost. Like a proto-meme, because then Scary Movie lambasted it, so Sadako, just the Ring in general, became like a thing.
Yeah, well, it's a huge cult phenomenon.
I've seen her. There's a Lilu in our midst, and she's not allowed!
No!
A cult phenomenon, yes.
It was the first of its kind to do what it did, and it's been repeated, countless times after that.
Yeah.
It's set up so many new tropes, too. Like, I'm gonna admit, I think I first knew about the remake, or saw the remake, before I even knew about this. You're probably you knew about this one first? We only figured out about it later, like, oh, the Ring was so, like, crazy.
At the time, it was, like, based on the Japanese horror, legend or whatever. So, the reason why I bring up all the, the legacy of the Ring is, I think we can just do a deep dive and just talk about whatever on it. It's an old enough thing.
I would hope so.
Yeah.
Can I tell you about, though, I don't know if I've told you the story, when I saw The Ring, the remake in the theater?
Yeah, maybe not.
Can I tell you what happened to me?
What you got?
Oh my god. So, I'll never forget, it was me and my sister. We went to Cinema Guzzo, which was in, anyways, our suburb. And we went to, a midnight showing of it, the Friday it came out. And then, right at the big reveal at the end of the movie, okay, when they're figuring everything out, sort of when she's, anyways, the screen, I don't know if this ever happened to anyone, it actually burnt a hole in the film itself. So all of us are fucking sitting there in the theater and we're like, is this part of it? We were so confused. And they're like, no, it actually just burnt and went shh, you know how it burns?
That's crazy.
And then they gave you a refund and they're like, listen, you didn't get to see the last 10 minutes of the movie, so you can get a voucher and come back or whatever. Doesn't end there, my story, okay? So then we're just sitting in the parking lot right after that, and then we're freaking out because we're like, that was fucking crazy. We must have been stoned. I don't know. We're like, that was fucking crazy. That was insane. And then her cell phone rings from a blocked number.
Your sister's?
My sister's.
Okay.
So she picks it up, and then you hear someone go, 7 days.
Shut up.
I swear to God. It was her friend, okay, who knew that we were going to the movie.
Nice.
And totally fucked with us.
Yeah.
And we were already freaking out, shaking because of what happened in the theater. We're like, are we gonna die?
You almost burnt to death.
Yeah, I don't know. I thought we
Why did you go back to that theater after their screen just burst into
It
flames?
was the only one in our suburb.
Alright, fair enough.
Anyways, so that's the story of when I watched The Ring in theaters.
I don't have nearly as an interesting story about that, but it was me and my sister, we just heard about whatever, and this is when we went to movies all the time together, because now we live too far to really do that, and we were just heard it's the scariest thing ever, and we went to go see it, and we're like, oh, and then I was staying over at her apartment, because that's when she started living downtown, and then I'm sleeping on the couch, and then she's in her bedroom, and then at some point I'm alright, I'm gonna go to bed now, so I'm okay too. 10 minutes goes by. I can't sleep, me neither. Want to just stay up and just hang out until we fall asleep? I'm yeah. I was not having it. It was
it creeped me the fuck out.
It creeped me out too. The same with The Grudge, but we're watching Ringu, which is the Japanese version today, and honestly, it's hard to it can't scare you the same way it did before. Can't leave the same impact. But I watched this version of it years and years ago. Basically, as soon as it came out on DVD, as soon as DreamWorks or whoever got the rights to it to re-release Ringu, and I watched it and I was like, oh, this is going to be great. And I really loved it. I'm like, oh, I like this even better than the English version.
A lot of people say that.
And watching it now, I'm like, I don't know.
I don't know about it. It's better because it's where the original concept came from it that started two trends, I guess, or tropes at this point. Where
there's one long-haired Japanese spook girl.
But
Masako.
Also the fact that they filmed her doing her creepy crawly walk backwards. and then sped it up. Like, I don't think anything had done that with, like, now you see that constantly in every horror movie. Everyone's doing a little creepy walk, a little shaky shakes.
In fact, I think it might be like they stopped doing that. Like, they did it for a long time, and now it's
been like 15 years that they're doing it, that they're like, do we need to give it a rest?
Oh, we should watch Gothica. That has a great rip-off, like, little Scuttle.
Little Scuttle. Yeah, the creepy Scuttle. And I think she's the OG who started the creepy Scuttle. Right?
I think this is actually based on a book or a manga.
Yeah, it was like something was written.
Or a novel maybe.
Novel or a story. And the other thing that I think, well, this might not be new, but it repopularized it. Like, the whole, like, the curse has been lifted, the evil's been defeated, but then the twist is it's not.
But then the evil's like,
hey, still here, bro. You know, and then the guy getting totally owned and coming out of the screen, which was like no one had ever, I don't know if anyone had ever
thought of that type of scare
like
before.
Doing it like in that way, like coming at you live.
So I'd like to talk about that. It's like we were thinking of maybe like watching the original, the English version, but like I had actually watched that scene not too long ago, maybe a year ago. Just watched a random clip. It was like top 10 horror movie like iconic moments, whatever. That I can say how it's done. The English version was far scarier than what it does here.
Oh yeah, because
it was kind of like fast almost. This is the male character, the ex-husband of the main girl of like the Naomi Watts character, Azakaya in this movie, and it was just like kind of fast. He stumbles over and then just bam, he's just kind of like dead. And I was like, wow, that's a lot less, like, tense than I remember it. Like, there was music build up and everything.
The music pops in this weren't that loud. And we're so used to, like, quiet, then a big bang of music when something scary happened. Even when she saw that reflection in the mirror with the guy pointing, it wasn't done loudly.
Even when there's a scary moment, it's not, it's like music that goes,
it's not exaggerated or anything like that. And
which is refreshing.
The other thing that the remake did better, too, I find, and maybe because of just a few years later technology was better, but like the graininess of the actual tape when they're watching, it's so bad, and I guess it's meant to be bad. It's fucking VHS. But when Naomi Watts gets it and she's really analyzing it, going into it, the still frames, there are more of them.
They're
way clearer. More. They're easier
to see. There's like weird bugs and there's ladders.
There's no bugs.
And there's like a cow eye.
And also the music is better. The music is creepier because it's more.
And
it's crisper. It's more defined. This music was just a little like beepity boopity. Like it wasn't.
It's more American, overproduced horror score that you're just used to.
But back then you weren't used to it. This is 2002.
Well, the English version is. This is 1998.
That's what I mean. No, the English one, the music, at that point, we hadn't had it like up to here with like, now that's the intro to American Horror Story. It sounds all the same, that type of thing. It's so done, but back then it wasn't. So it added to it, like the creepiness of just watching the footage of the actual videotape.
Yeah, I want to talk about a difference that I kind of missed that was in the English version and it wasn't in the original. It's like, this is about Sadako. I mean, we don't have to really tell the plot of The Ring. Most people know it. But Sadako is like a sort of origin story. It's this little fishing island off the coast of Japan, and there's a volcano there that erupted back in the day, and that's kind of where she comes from. And that's just basically it. But in the English version, she lives on a ranch that has a bunch of horses.
The horses.
And this also is lacking the imagery in some of the scenes that I really like, where I think there was something creepy about being on a horse ranch, because when they're taking that little trip on a boat, there's a horse that's getting nervous in the English version, and the horse kills itself by just jumping off the boat, and you're like, what the fuck? That's messed up. And another thing, why is the movie called The Ring, the English version? Do you remember?
I do know why, and it's not as prevalent in this movie.
No.
So it's because when she's looking up from the well and she sees the outer lining of the ring of the sun coming up from the top of the well that's on it. Is that what it is? So that creates the ring. And
that's
this
the thing
movie,
that you see.
Me too. I was like, the whole time I'm like, that's not even one of the images of the videotape.
When they show the tape, it shows a guy looking down, or it shows an open lid.
At one point, not even the whole time. That was during a flashback sequence. That wasn't even during like the videotape they were analyzing. So
but
like, why is this called
it's called Ringu. Maybe it means something else. I've also heard that this is also called, in some circles, or a production name it had, is the Spiral. I don't know if that means anything else. I don't know if that's the production company.
Well,
it's
spirals are symbolic of something else, totally.
Yeah,
so
I'm not sure. But that was another thing. I'm like, oh, okay. I really like that part of the English version, or maybe if there's some parts from Ringu 2 that they took for the English version.
Also, now that I'm thinking of it, they didn't explain in this original version why the 7 days, as they did. Like, we all know from seeing the remake that, like, because it takes 7 days that you could survive in a well.
Well, it took 7 days for her to die.
It took 7 days, but like everyone knows that if you have water, you can survive for 7 days.
Yeah.
You know, if you have just water, I think it's even longer than that.
You can survive for like a couple of weeks without food.
I think 3 weeks. If you just have water, I don't know, bro, but whatever. It took her 7 days to die in that well, and that's why you have 7 days from when you watch the tape. Did they fucking say that?
No.
Did I miss it?
Not.
Okay, so
it's a little weird. And also I wanted to talk about the fact that, like, there's another Asian horror movie we watched before, and, like, a lot of them around this era, like, late 90s, early aughts, they all fuck around with technology a bit. So in this, it's a videotape. It's when
pictures.
When you've taken a picture of someone that has the Ringu curse, and your face is all fucked up. In one missed call, it's all about cell phones, like ghosts be holla holla and call you up on your phone and be like, you cursed!
Yeah.
And you're like, damn it! What am I supposed to do here?
I just wanted to check my voicemail.
Pulse is another one where it's just on the internet, and fear.com is the English equivalent of that. And I really liked that for a while, but then they kind of dropped it. The Grudge didn't really use any technology as far as I remember.
No, I don't think so.
Oh wait, they would call you on your phone all the time, be like,
no, they would use like security footage, video cameras, and they'd be there, but it wasn't like the main focus. I guess like Japan was just like, you know what? Technology's advancing. Mm-hmm. How can we use this to fucking scare the shit out of people? Like, how do we make it creepy?
I think it even goes back farther, because the Fatal Frame video game series is all about taking pictures of ghosts, and that like kills them or traps them, like you're trapping their image. So maybe it goes back to all
that goes back to olden times with like aura photography.
Yes.
Or, you know, photographing your dead, like, you know, like in the others, like the creepiness, and also like there's a lot of stuff with picture taking and ghost images and stuff like that.
Zero shot. But yeah, going back to the overall movie itself, I was a little like let down, like it doesn't hold up as well as I remember this version of it.
I think it's more
very scary.
I think it's more, it would have been scary if we had watched it at the time. I think now watching it, like, we've done so much with horror, like there's so many different horrific ways to scare you now with movies that this was just a little timid, you know. But it was, the concept was
still great.
Amazing, you know, the acting was good, the way it was shot was wonderful, but it's just
we just watched this on DVD, and I really like the old kind of look that it has. It's kind of fuzzy, and it just makes you just think that you're watching like an old horror movie,
almost an 80s.
Yeah, it has the same charm.
80s feel to it.
We were trying to also see if we can get Ringu 2, because I don't even remember if I've seen that one.
It was hard. I couldn't find it. Like, I'm sure you can find it, but it wasn't on any services we had readily available. I couldn't order a copy to get here fast enough, so I was just like, well, scratch that. But then we found this copy of this DVD at my dad's house. So I was like, man.
Because horror is one of your dad's favorite genres, so there's that. But, you know,
He's gonna watch these.
Yeah, I know. But if anyone hasn't seen Ringu, the original, it's still worth a watch, especially if you haven't seen it before.
I mean,
but
if you haven't seen it and you're like a horror fan at this point, like, what have you done? Maybe you couldn't find a copy, but I feel like everyone is...
I mean,
not everyone. Maybe not this one.
I'm not going to say it's, like, inferior to the American remake, but there is just stuff in that, like, I think they just added to, whereas other stuff may not be as effective or as creepy.
Well, they solidified more of the storyline, I guess, which is like, God, who knew that a remake would do that instead of just shitting all over it, kind of, and making it, like, twisting it. It added more to it, so,
It made it its own thing. But yeah, no, that's Ringu. It's a horror classic. It's like
undisputable.
The Shining / The Exorcist of Asian horror film in general. And it had a bunch of sequels and kind of spawned a whole subgenre. So it gets mad respect for that.
Yeah.
So I think that's
if anything, you gotta, you know.
But yeah, I guess that's Ringu for tonight. That is another McMuscles Midnight Massacre in the bag. Join us tomorrow for another one, and maybe we'll see how many bodies can be in this massacre tomorrow night. See you guys.
That didn't work.
It didn't.